Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, welcome to another episode of Supreme Ruler Ultimate as China. So, what are we doing? Well, in the last episode, if you missed it, we're in the process of sending a battle group right here and a landing force here to Brazil to help land troops there so we can help them take over probably our first target, which will be Venezuela. And then we're probably going to help them take out our ally in Peru. Probably is what we're gonna do. That'll help Brazil get bigger, just like we let Syria get bigger and control the Middle East and large chunks of the country over there. Our plan is to let Brazil kind of take over South America and let it aggro the U.S. I'm hoping that Syria here also aggroes Europe a little bit more. If it does, thumbs up, we're good to go. I'm also hoping Syria aggroes and goes after Egypt. If they do, fingers crossed, then our hope is that we can then later on maybe go to war with Syria and take Egypt possibly. But yeah, so that is how we're sitting right now. I'm actually going to look at our resources real quick. In the last episode for South Sudan, I mentioned, and I forgot to mention my Supreme Ruler Ultimate China campaign video. If you have any questions about how the game works, the UI, theories, plans, any questions about anything in the game, please feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below. I will compile all the questions and answer them. What is this? Oh, it's a Spanish ship. Okay, they're black. Okay. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them, mainly because I am very passionate about this game. I love this game a lot, and though it does have its little quirks here and there, I'll admit the game's not perfect, but in my eyes, it's a very fun game to get into and to play, and once you kind of get the feel for certain things, it becomes quite the fun little game to play. But I digress. Let's get back to the game itself. A couple things I want to do is really look at our economy over here. I want to see how our trades are going. So right now we're not even trading that much. Whoa. I have the wrong country selected on this thing, I must. No, I don't. Okay. How all of a sudden am I making so much money? Oh, because I increased the domestic prices for stuff. That's why. You wanted to buy consumer goods. Sure. That is why. And I actually wanted to reduce said costs. Kind of help people kind of take off some of their burden, so to speak. So we're going to go to 100% of costs for stuff here. I just want to see right there how much money we'll be making. Come on, 100%, please. You know, I don't mind the fact that it goes 2% at a time, but I wish I could, like, use the scroll wheel and make it go 1 at a time. Don't need you, don't need you. Okay. What we're also going to do to kind of up things up a little bit is make sure this is set to 120 of demand. 120, 110. You're actually going to go to 120 now as well. Oil's going to go to 120. A lot of these things we have enough in reserve. But I just want to make sure that, you know, long term we have the capacity. I mean, we have the capacity technically, but 22, 20. Then you wants 100% of demand. 26, 24, 22, 120. There we go. So we're unpause. We're going to watch it tick over once. And we're going to see who Ecuador declared war on Suriname. And we're going to support that. Because that's destabilizing South America even more. So we're going to look at... Oh, there we go. It's already jumped. Perfect. Alright. So now we're producing 465. We have around 200 unused every day. And we're at 446. For what? Yeah, you know what? I'm happy that we're building more of these because that's not too good. At least on the bright side, we're kind of breaking even almost when it comes to the money, though. So that's not so bad. This should help bring up our GDP drastically. Right now it's 538 or 5,038. 31. And if you look, our inflation is probably going to go up now. Especially when you have just over 1 billion people in your country. Our fleets are still working their way. Working their way downtown. Inflation was 1.3 earlier. It's still 1.3, which is good. You want petroleum, you want military goods? Sure, sure. So inflation, well, that's a lot of stuff here. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Did I mute myself? Yeah, I'm muting myself. I had to move my secondary monitor a little bit, so yeah, it looks weird. Okay, consumer goods, yes, yes, and yes. Coal, consumer goods, and we're all good. Even though oh yeah, what's my consumer goods sitting at? That was one of my big, oh, okay. That's actually no big deal. Meh. Well, inflation's still 1.3. We'll see what happens when we get to, should get to what, 50, 56, 57? We're at 552, 1.3, we're 1.3, well, 55. So people are making just a tiny bit more money. Not enough to spike our inflation from the looks of it. Now, in the short term, we're probably going to be hemorrhaging a little bit of money. That's, you know what, in my eyes, no sweat off my nuts. No big worries. Our biggest worry, obviously, is, well, overall, our GDP. Once our GDP gets to a good size up, we basically just increase the prices again, and it'll all skyrocket. And we will be basically just raking in the cash at that point. What we can do is basically raise the prices to a certain point where we stall out our GDP, or hold out our GDP. Like we can set the prices to say 150%, and that means probably only a small portion of people will be able to afford our stuff. But on the bright side, that should stall the GDP and any other things and hopefully help the inflation go down. If it's going up, if it goes up dramatically. Consumer goods is, yeah, I'll sell it to you. Oh, what do you want? Consumer goods and coal. So inflation's still 1.3, but our GDP is going up. It's going up steadily, and there we go. There, the inflation's popped up a little bit. It's popped up just a tiny bit. It went up 0.1. So I'm not too worried there. Because what we can do is once our GDP gets really high, we basically just, or our inflation gets too high, we just pop up those prices again. Our GDP will go down, but not as down as it was before. Our inflation will go down, and then we drop the prices again for our stuff. Please tell me you're staying on our side of the border. Perfect. Oh, someone got independence. Sahara. What? Sahara? I'm going to support that, but I'm also going to try and figure out where... Yeah, Chile, you owe me money. I mean, there's Morocco here. Oh, okay. That's not what this country is named now. What is this country's name now? I'm going to Google this, because I'm pretty sure... Oh, I spelled Africa wrong. Spelled with the rains down in Africa. I also spelled it with a K, not a C. I'm playing too much of Hearts of Iron 4. Let's go to Google Maps, please. It's called Western Sahara. Oh, okay. Interesting. So technically, this border is hypothetical. Just looking at the actual map right now, this is actually a dotted line in real life. That's actually very interesting. Western Sahara. Western Sahara is disputed territory in the whatever region of North Africa, bordered by Morocco in the north, Algeria to the northeast, and Mauritania the east and south of the Atlantic Ocean. Interesting. Occupied by Spain. In 1965, the UN General Assembly adopted its first resolution on Western Sahara, asking Spain to decolonize the territory. 1 year later, a new resolution was passed at the General Assembly and requested the referendum be held by Spain on self-determination. So basically, the UN told Spain to get the fuck out of Africa. Ah, interesting. So it's a disputed country right now. So technically it's a country, but it's kind of probably like Somalia, where the leader is technically... Oh, okay. Like the leaders... Like in real life, Somalia, for example, it's a country, but it doesn't have a government. It's... Technically, its version of government is... anarchy, technically. We are still supporting Arita, which is up here. And you want to get consumer goods. Now, mind you, I read all of Wikipedia. Now, its actual... how relevant it is a different question. Consumer goods, and yeah, we're good to go. How's our fleet? Well, they're off the Mexican border, but our invasion force is almost near Baja. You want consumer goods, and coal. Consumer goods, okay, we're good there. Speaking of which, how is things now? Inflation's 1.4% still, and we're almost at 5,100 for our GDP. We're 13th overall in GDP ranking. The average is 4,600 worldwide. So actually, the GDP worldwide is going down. We started; it was in the There's a war going on. We're going to agree to that, and we're going to agree to that. We're going to see Ecuador has declared war on Colombia. We're going to support that as well. So now Ecuador is trying to get a piece of Colombia, which is right here. Interesting. So Colombia is at war with Suriname. Suriname is right here. Ecuador is actually landed true. So Ecuador is at war with Suriname. Ecuador is now at war with Colombia. Colombia is also at war with... They're at war with Brazil as well. You're at war with Venezuela, Peru, and Colombia. You're at war with all three of these bastards. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I don't remember them actually declaring war on Colombia, to be honest with you. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's a good idea. When our Navy comes around and docks here, and our supply aircraft can finally supply these guys, I'm going to get them to push up the coastline here and try to capture... Probably get them to go all the way up to this that naval facility up there. Just trying to look. Or we might, we'll help them take Venezuela first, and we'll just kind of work our way along the coast. Separate them from Panama, and just kind of work along the coast. Try to cut off these guys a lot, and kind of keep away from the interior, but keep away from the interior of the countries where all the lack of infrastructure is, and basically try to destroy what units we can while we can. Turn that off. Plus, what I'm thinking is once we get below 2 billion, my plan is to up the prices again for stuff. Ethiopia wants consumer goods, sure. And see how it's going. I'm going to go to 150 to see just exactly how that's going to affect our inflation. If I go to 150 and our inflation goes nowhere, but our people are still making, like, our GDP is going up, then, you know, it's more of a we'll say an experiment, because I can always crack it back all the way up to 200% again, and that'll be no big deal. Wow, 2 countries with almost the exact same flag. That's annoying. Consumer goods. Ooh, Yugoslavia doesn't like us as much anymore. Probably because we're sinking their warships. Or their patrol ships. Or not the patrol ships. Their troop transports that they're trying to send to Venezuela over here. Do you guys do mid-air refueling? You can, okay. I'm going to send all these aircraft over here. They should repair themselves, I'm hoping. Is that a ship or is that an airplane? No, it's a ship. Okay. We got 11 more things. Holy crap. Consumer goods, petroleum, consumer goods, coal. I'm just saying we have a lot of stuff to sell because that's still going to be making us a good dent in money, right? So we're not losing too much. This is going to sound really bad, but we're only losing like 500 million a day, which on the grand scheme of things, not a big deal. So we've lowered things down to 100% of markup for prices. But when you look at it, our GDP is only going up 0.1% every 2 to 3 days. Agriculture and agriculture, sure. Let's pause that real quick and look to see what everyone wants to buy. Consumer goods and coal, we're good there. Actually, diplomatic offer. I'm going to offer you that peace treaty. Because I just realized that if I enter their territory, it's going to be taken as mine, technically, I think. And we're going to move our fleet there. Oh, they all just went right into perfect. Okay. Oh, we're engaging engaging more units here. Looks like the Brazilians are planning an invasion somewhere. Well, they're just sending supply ships somewhere. Where are they sending supply ships to? Is it to our fleet? Why are we not engaging with our warships? Was it because they were in someone else's territory? I mean, I'm hearing them like take pot shots and stuff. Oh, they're hitting the guys that are trying to, the Hungarian units that are trying to leave the country. Oh, and the Venezuelan troops. Okay, that was kind of getting a little humorous. Let's move you there. I'm going to move you down. Oh, what happened? Coup d'etat. The government of Brunei has been overthrown by a coup d'etat by their military. We're going to support that. Brazil and Venezuela have signed a ceasefire. Oh, come on, guys. I was just about to land troops for you. Alright, well, I'm going to land my troops then and take this peninsula. Worst, best, work, babe. You have agriculture. You don't have rubber. You don't have timber. Wow, it's a lot of oil. You have coal. You have metal ore. No uranium. A little bit of power. And a significant amount of people. So basically, we're going to take their country and then just turn around and hand it back to them. But we're going to put in a communist leader. Because right now they're a democracy. So. But we're also going to do it with a small invasion force. So in the next episode, our invasion force is going to land over here. We're then going to land and take this airbase, or this little village down here. And start our invasion of Venezuela. Since Brazil got all pansy on us and signed the peace treaty with Venezuela. Until next time, see you then. Bye-bye.